Hi guys, welcome to Roving Through Books, and today we'll be reviewing A Kind of Madness by Uche Okonkwo. This collection of stories is not really something you can prepare yourself for because they are so different. There's nothing connecting these characters together. So they are different things. And the first story starts with a young woman. So the title is Onye Belgium, and loosely that translates to Belgian wife or something like that. Because she is told that, oh, there is a Nigerian man that studied in Belgium and he's coming back and he's looking for a wife, so maybe you will wife him. Hence the title. And we see how rumors can change things, and most importantly, we see the way we distance ourselves from madness, like as if it is something that cannot happen to the best of us. It is seen as, like, I think people would prefer to be physically ill to the worst point than to be referred as mentally ill, which is why they treat people who are mentally ill a very bad way. So they are like, there's it's like there's a mad person in your family, and so I would not risk giving my son to your daughter so that whatever is wrong with your gene doesn't pass to mine. And it's like it's very sad because if you really look at it, these people, many of them didn't ask for this. And even in this story, yes, it's even a lie. Like, it's a lie. So many of them didn't ask for it. They didn't see that, oh, this is the position I want to be in life. It just fell on them, and they have to live with that. So we as people, we discriminate them a lot. The same way we used to discriminate HIV victims a lot. I think we still do that, by the way, but we do that also to mad people. Nobody wants to be associated with them, irrespective of anything. Yeah. So the second story, it's titled Shadow, and it talks about how a young boy is facing disappointment. So we know how certain aunties and uncles have made lavish promises to us and they failed. Personally, I think because of this story, I try to not make promises to children that I know I cannot fulfill, because you don't know how much weight they have attached to that promise. In this story, we see that this boy ties a whole lot to that promise. To him, that promise is like the basis of so many things. So when he doesn't go according to his plan, he is utterly disappointed and he doesn't know what to do with that. But that instance, yes, it feels like a small thing, but it changes him. It changes his perspective of not just of the promise, person giving the promise herself, and how he will begin to see the world. So it is very important that as people we learn that children are not just they are not lower than us. They are pretty, they understand what's going on irrespective, I think, irrespective of their age. To an extent they can understand what's happening. So we should not think that we can take advantage of their innocence by making false promises and not delivering to them. There's another story of a young girl who was found manipulating, and her manipulation game was on. I was like, you are a small child and they are doing something. See, fear children. I'm saying it now. I think you should raise children because many people are like, oh, they are children, they don't know anything. Think well before you say that statement. Think very, very well before you make that statement, because children are not always innocent. They know things. This girl was moving, she was moving things that I was shocked that, how old are you that you are capable of moving things to this extent? She changed a person's social class in school. She changed the person's social class in school by a process she completely engineered. And there was nothing that told us that, oh, she read a book where she found it or she watched a movie. We don't know the motivation behind that thing that she did. The only thing we know is that she did it, and it's very bad that she did it because it changed things. I mean, she manipulated someone from, in secondary schools, there are classes of people, in the sense that there's some people that are on the top class, the untouchables, blah, 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 and she brought someone down from that social class. She brought the person down. She used her own hand, and there was no way you could point it to her. because like I said, she manipulates. She used manipulation to play her game, and she played it really well. And she became friends with her victim. I think this is one of the books that teaches you that you should be very careful of people. You don't know who people are. You really don't know, because everybody will be like, ah, look at this girl. They will even think she would have been nice to her victim. They will not know that she's the one that made the person a victim. Yeah. So there's a story that caught my attention, and I talked about in the space we held on Twitter, where I said there was this young girl who had an attention seeking disorder, so she could do anything for attention. Once she did something and she saw that, oh, because of this little thing I did, there's attention, she would continue. She would continue, like, no matter how much she is being hurt by it. What the hell? Like, no matter how much she is hurt by it, she will go ahead with it simply because of the attention she's getting. And it's dangerous that a young child thinks that way, that, this is what I'm willing to do to gain attention. Like I said, it's very dangerous, because at the end, we are wondering what will become of somebody who can do this to gain attention at a young age. Where is she heading to? Where is she headed to? And we don't know. Nobody knows the answer to that. We can only hope, like a character in the story. There's another story of a young girl suffering from sickle cell anemia. I'm serious, these stories are just so nice. And this story is really painful, because we see this person being treated carefully, but we do not know why. Although, as an adult, you can get one or two hints and be like, oh, something is wrong with this girl. That's why she is being cared for the way she is being cared for. But children don't understand these things, and that's why they should be taught. They should be taught that, oh, the reason why this person is being treated this particular way, the reason why we are giving this person special treatment, is because this is what this person is suffering from. Now, you don't have to go into details. You don't have to say that, oh, but I feel like maybe even going into details, maybe it would help children understand that, oh, this is my friend. It is not as if people hate us. It's because our friend needs to be treated more gently because of a certain condition. Now, it can be tricky because children can be mean. You don't know what can spiral into something else. That's why I said it can be tricky. Some children would react in a very nice way, and some children would use it to mock the child. But here we see she doesn't understand why her friend is being treated the way she's being treated, and she takes it to heart. And then one day she decides, you know what, I'm going to flout these rules. I don't care. And they do it, and her friend has a major episode, and she is filled with so much guilt that she has led to the death of her friend. I wanted to tell her, like, baby girl, it's not your fault. Like, you should have known. Someone should have told you. And they eventually did tell her, right? But they should have told her in the beginning. If you know someone is going to be your child's friend, you should educate that child on, and you have a sick child, you should educate your child's friend on the sickness your child has and other things. For example, if it is asthma your child has, tell them that, oh, you must always have an inhaler on you. Something like that. Especially when you know that these people really care about your child, not just someone that is doing this for some other reasons you don't know. You should teach them these things. Children can learn things. Children can keep each other safe, not in the ground way that adults can, but they can still learn some things. I mean, it is from a young age you teach children CPR. You teach them these things so that they know that when things go wrong, these are the things they can do. I remember there was a video I watched one time of a young girl. Her brother was on the trampoline, and he sort of fainted, and immediately she commenced CPR. So we should teach children these things. They should know these medical procedures that are simple. If you ask many adults now, they don't know how to do CPR. They don't know the Heimlich maneuver. We should teach people these things. It is not knowledge for existence sake. It is knowledge that is meant to be known and practiced so that when the situation calls for it, you know the right thing to do. I think the peculiar thing about this collection is that it talks about different things, especially from the lenses of children. And we see a particular boy who has a pet chicken. And this raises the question, why do we place some animals as pets and we deem some animals edible? Because some people make pets goat, and they can nobody can eat that goat. Like nobody can eat that goat. Some people, okay, like I did have a pet dog, and telling me that you want to kill my pet dog to eat him, it's I will be very unsettled. I'm very unsettled. Especially if you now kid and you now say that me, I should come and eat it. That what happened. Exactly. Like, so why do we make this distinction between pets and food, especially when it comes to animals? Because many animals are generally eaten. So why do we make this distinction, and what makes us make it? Because if you really look at it, what is the basis? Chicken to some people is pet. Chicken to many people is food. Dog to some people pet. Dog to some people food. I think even as far as goats, even okay, I don't know if cows can fall into that category as well because they are really, really big. So I don't know anybody who will make a pet of a cow. It may be possible, but yes, in general, the Uche demonstrates her ability. Yes, she said it was a collection of stories that spanned over a decade. And you can see why, because she is meticulous in writing these stories. She's not just expressing something that she thinks or she expects that would happen. She's writing realities. That's why these stories are very relatable. So there's a story in this collection that appears in Lagos Noah. And because I'll be reviewing Lagos Noir tomorrow, I would mention the story and review it in Lagos Noir so that, you know, it's my choice, it is my choice. And I first read the story in Lagos Noir before I read it in A Kind of Madness. And as soon as I saw it in A Kind of Madness, I was like, I've read this somewhere. And then I traced my way back to Lagos Noir because Lagos Noir is brilliant. Yeah, but we're not going to talk about that today. So, yes. And that's all for me for today. And bye, guys. See you tomorrow.